Okay.
This is Pav's collar. This is a training collar that he has on whenever he's not in his kennel. So this just helps keep him in control a little bit. So first off, with the remote, there is a button on the back that says on, off, /light. If you press this in and hold it for 2-3 seconds, you'll notice the front, the blue screen lights up, and that means that the remote is on and working. The collar and putting it on.
You have to turn it on, the collar.
Oh yeah. So to turn the collar on, there's a red button or a red little dot on the remote, and there's a red dot on the actual
Can't see it.
collar itself.
Okay.
You touch those two together, and it will flash green. When it's flashing green, that means the collar is on. If I push just the same way we're turning it off, you put the two together and it flashed red, and then it no longer flashes green.
And you turn the remote off
And you turn the remote off the same way by pressing and holding it down, and then this will eventually the screen just goes blank. So I'm going to turn this back on, and I'm going to turn the collar back on. Red dot to red dot. It's got the green light that will flash slowly. If this green dot turns orange, that means the collar needs to be charged, and we'll leave the charge.
How long does it usually last? Couple days, 3 days.
Days. To charge it, there is a little rubber flap back here that you just lift up, and then you can see that there's a charging port right here. The remote itself has a little rubber flap as well that lifts up, and there's a little charging port there. And then the charger itself will be by the collars when you get here, because he'll be in his kennel and it won't be on. To put the collar on, a couple things is that the actual collar itself, where the prongs are, we keep that on the kind of the side of his neck. His left side, or sorry, it'd be his right side, your left side if you're looking at him, tends to work the best. Just the buckle works like any other buckle. Complicated. He's usually pretty good about this. From a level of tightness perspective, as long as you can kind of get 2 fingers under and you feel like the prongs of the collar are touching him, that's pretty good. That's where you want to be. And then there is a lot of extra cord here, so I usually run it through and then just run it back through, and then if you want to, even a third time, so that it's just folded up in there. So now the collar is on. There's a couple things that if you just want to get his attention, 14 is where it's set at now.
Can't see it.
Yeah, you probably can't see it, but there, that might help. So
it goes up to 100, so 14 is pretty low.
yeah, 14 would be like if you want to get his attention and get him to look at you. That's a good one. If he starts to bark like crazy out the front window, it may seem extreme, but like between 50 and 60 is where he knows that what he's doing needs to stop.
And it's the black button.
Yep. So the button's on the remote. The black button is going to give him the electric zap at whatever this is set at. The red is if he's not listening, and then it doesn't double it, but it gives him a little bit more of an increased zap. And then the one on the right is just to vibrate the collar, but he doesn't acknowledge the vibration piece of it. So it's just going to be these two. The top black one is the normal zap that will hit whatever you have set here. The red one gives it an amplified zap.
And we use that black, set at a 14. We use that just as a come to get his attention, kind of like calling his name. It doesn't hurt him. He knows if you zap him to come.
If he goes upstairs and you're downstairs and you want him to come down, you may have to, maybe hit it 3 different times, but eventually he will realize that means that you're calling him to come downstairs. So that's the collar. Again, like I said, I would suggest having it on whenever he is out of his kennel, and then we take it off when he goes into his kennel. So that's that.